We hope you enjoy listening to this weekly podcast from LifeLine Church. You can find out more and discover our other podcasts by searching for LifeLine Church, visiting lifelinechurch.co.uk, or by taking a look at our YouTube channel, LifeLine Church Dagenham.
Good morning, everybody. Again, the devil took him to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their splendor. All this I will give you, he said, if you will bow down and worship me. There's something quite interesting like that thing of bowing down before someone else. So what are you bowing down to? Hi, Mum. Mum, I can't really talk now. I'm just in the middle of a talk. I'm at church. Can this wait till later, please? Oh, you've had a nice holiday. Where did you go again? Yeah, how's Dad? Seasick. Ooh, that's not particularly nice, is it? Okay, when you're back. You did what? Can we talk about this later? I'm a little bit tied up right now. Okay. Thank you. All right, I'll speak to you in a bit. Bye. How many people reached for their phones? Or started to have a look as soon as that sound went off? Why do you think you did that? It's because you've been conditioned to. Yeah? We've been conditioned. Whether we realize it or not, those sounds, that mobile phone ring, if you get a person in your office with the same ring, it's awful, isn't it? I talked on the 17th of July 2016 when we were going through a series called A Spirit of Adventure. That's 9 years ago. I thought to myself, where on earth has the time gone? And that particular morning, I spoke about sort of emerging technologies that were going on. IBM Watson. It was basically taking over all the law student stuff. It learned every single law case. It could give better answers than the top lawyers. This is 9 years ago. This crazy thing called Uber. A car firm that started not owning a single car. Airbnb. All these things have become household names. They're normal now. These were cutting edge stuff back then. Airbnb, a property company, didn't own a single property. And Pokemon Go. I won't embarrass Owen Jakes again, but literally Pokemon Go had come out a week before I spoke upon this, and he managed to get himself, I think, locked in one of the parks, trying to find some virtual cartoon character. How things have changed. Steve Jobs, back on the 9th of January 2007, in his keynote, introduced us to a brand new concept. There was an iPod, and for those that are younger than most, iPod where you used to play your music on. Mobile phones at the time were just mobile phones. They did what they said on the tin. They were there, they were mobile, and you made phone calls. Occasionally you played the snake game, but that's about as far as it went. And he talked about an internet communicator, and then he blew everyone's mind by basically saying, I'm announcing the iPhone 1. And me not being a tech head at all was in the queue the next day to purchase one. The people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Does that sound like you? Does that sound like me? Because we've been given a commission. Jesus' commission to us was to what? Go into all the world. Repeat what I've done. Go do it. Sounded a bit crazy. Crazy people change the world. I'm giving you an opportunity to walk out of the meeting nice and early and go back and have your dinner. If that's what you want to do. I.e., wake back in your bed and pretend everything's okay. Well, there's an opportunity this morning for the Holy Spirit to do something. I genuinely believe the Holy Spirit wants to deal with some stuff this morning for us. We have a choice. What's an influencer? So a social media influencer is an expert who has established credibility in a specific industry, and they've built a large following. So, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a footballer. How many followers has he got? 836 million people. 836 million people. If he sends something out on social media, this is the thing that blew my mind. He has about a 1.9% open rate. So only 1.9% of people actually open and view the things that he's posting. Do you know how much money he makes on average per post? $3.3 million. I'll be posting every 20 seconds. 3.3 million. I was just like, that's ridiculous. Selena Gomez, she has 581 million followers. And a lot of our young people who know Mr. Beast. He's catching up very rapidly. He does crazy stuff and puts on crazy challenges and gives away loads of money just to increase his profile. So it set me thinking, who would have been the biblical influencers? Imagine if mobile phones existed back then, what would be going on? Do you reckon Jesus would be tweeting every day? What about Moses? Or John the Baptist? Or Paul? Or Miriam? Let's just listen into Moses.
All right, guys, me and Aaron just got inside the palace. We're about to ask Pharaoh to let our people go. No idea how this is going to go, but wish us luck. Okay, we just left the meeting. We asked, he laughed, said no one's going anywhere. Anyway, the fight goes on.
Pharaoh, if you're watching this, this is your last chance. Let the people go, or it's gonna rain, hail, frogs, whatever.
Hashtag let my people go.
He let us go, then changed his mind. Now he's sending soldiers. We're literally running to the sea right now. We just got here, sea in front, army behind, no way out, everyone's freaking out. Let's see what God tells us to do. Guys, the sea literally opened up. I'll explain later, we're walking through now. And no, this path isn't on Google Maps.
Didn't film the parting, was busy holding the staff. But yeah, it worked. The sea split. I'm exhausted.
All right, guys, we made it. Seal's behind us, Pharaoh's not. Don't forget to like, comment, and maybe bring sandals next time. We walked a lot.
What a crazy time we live in. Ask the person next to you this question. What's the first thing you did this morning? By show of hands, how many people did the person next to them say, I looked at my mobile phone? Second question, just to think about, is where do you charge your phone at night time? Is it downstairs? Is it upstairs? Is it right next to your bed? So C.S. Lewis in the Screw Tape Letters, if you haven't read them, go read them. It's really fascinating. It basically says if the demons can't destroy you, they will distract you. Even way back in the beginning, Eve, Genesis 3, 1-6, Eve was deceived because she was distracted by what she couldn't have. Right back then. Doesn't that sound familiar? I want to spend some quiet time with God. And then the vibration sound comes, and you're like torn. Is it really important? Has somebody lost a leg? Yeah? What's going on? And suddenly, the thing you set out to do is disruptive. Well, maybe I'm using it for a good purpose. I'm wanting to read the Bible. Suddenly, this starts happening. Random texts from random people that you don't need to answer right then. What about this? For our young people, this is the Bible. I was chatting to Dave Simmons this week over lunch, and we were talking about Bibles and distractions and stuff. And I saw his face lit up when he remembered his Bible. And this is actually a picture of Dave's Bible. And he messaged me after, he goes, every page is like this. I don't think you get the same thing on the mobile phone. I just don't. My Bible is falling to pieces. I got it when I was on beach mission when I was 18 years old, and the people I was on mission with wrote notes in my Bible. When I open it, I'm minded of those people, and I wonder what they're doing right now, and I pray that they are still following God. As I flick through pages on C verses that are highlighted. I think back and think, why made me do that? Oh, I remember that. There's life in it. And I'm not saying technology is all wrong, but I'm saying it gets in the way sometimes. And maybe going back to some of the old traditional ways of doing stuff, if it's even for a season, will make you start to think differently again. Ultimately, technology, social media, is very cleverly designed. It starts you off in your headspace with one intention and quickly takes you down a path. It works out what you like, what you don't like, what's the best time to disrupt your day, and grabs hold of you. Those algorithms shape our lives more than the Word of God. We're connected to people. That's the whole purpose of it, isn't it? I want to be connected to everybody. But we fail to be connected to the one who we're meant to be connected to. A post that you see and you think, oh, that looks quite interesting, and you click on it. Suddenly you find yourself on a slippery slope. There's scantily clad women. Oh, I don't really want to watch. Oh. Statistics taken last year. Pornography and lust. 68% of Christian men are bound. And 33% of Christian women are bound. There could be some of you sitting in the room today that are bound because you clicked on a link some time ago and you started on a slippery slope and it keeps feeding the habit. The dopamine hit you get means that you go back to it time and time and time and time again. We're called for so much more than this. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. And for those of a certain age, I know exactly where that comes from. Have you become just another brick in the wall? Because as far as all the social media people are, you're just a brick. And if you move out the way, there's plenty more bricks to follow. And yet God made you intentionally and has a plan for you and a purpose for you. And as Neil mentioned earlier, I was standing at the back and I was thinking, it's your breath in our lungs. God spoke everything else into being. Think about it. Think about creation. He spoke and it became. There's something different from us. Pulled together some dirt, some dust, formed us, and then put his very self into us. There's enough to meditate even in that to last me for my entire lifetime. How the God of the universe put himself in us. One of my friends, I went along to his son's wake yesterday. Son was killed last week in a tragic accident, 29 years old. As I spoke there, I said, for that young man, he woke up that day not knowing it's going to be his last day. Every single day is a gift from God. And his dad was standing there giving thanks, and it humbled me. He said, I've lost my boy, but I haven't lost my faith. That's what this is about. And he also said, I serve a God that also lost his boy. And that's the reality for us. As a parent, I can't imagine losing a child. But that's what he's been through. And yet he's walking tall because he knows he's got a Father in heaven. So you may think that your phone, yeah, it's a tool. I'm not stuck in it that often. I don't use it that much. But when you think about it, think about the position that you take when you're looking at your phone. Think about it. You're all bowing. You're all bowing. Don't sort of look at your phone like this, do you? Because people will think you're absolutely crazy. So you sit like this. Ooh, wonder who this is.
Yo, what's up, guys? Shad here. So they're trying to make us bow to this statue right now, but nah, we're not doing it. All right, guys, just keeping it real. So we didn't bow. They're heating that furnace up right now, and they said we're going in. But I had to get this on record.
That's it right there. Heated 7 times hotter. They're actually about to do this. But hey, still not scared.
Ow, how cute. You guys were filming a goodbye video? Won't be needing this once you're ashes.
All right, they're about to throw us in, like in the fire. But I'm not afraid, because the Lord is the Lord,
My God is with us. Yo guys, little update. We're in here, but we're actually chilling. Like, no burns, nothing. Also, there's another guy in here, a fourth one. I'm not even joking. Yo guys, I can't even lie. We actually made it out. Like, God protected us, just like I knew he would. And now look, everybody's shook. Well, all right guys, that's the end of this vlog. Yeah, today definitely didn't go how I expected, but hey, God came through. Make sure to like, comment, and pray. I'll see y'all next fire.
They were prepared to be thrown into a furnace, to be burnt alive, rather than bow. Has your phone become an idol? Men, women, children. I saw a young lad recently just begging his mum, can I have a phone? 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 Why? Because it's become the new norm. They feel that they're disconnected without it, that they're separated from their friendship circles and all that sort of stuff without it. You have a look the next time you're on the train at how many people get on the train and the first thing they do, sit down, head down, and zone out until they get to their next stop. The art of conversation has disappeared. Remember Lucy's talking, I think it was last week, you mentioned that thing on the train, that interaction that took place. We're forgetting how to be human beings. We're forgetting the art of conversation because we've got other stuff, our own private agenda that we just want to get on with. And I'm a nosy sort of fella, so when I'm walking down the carriage and having a look, I'm looking at what people are looking at. Swipe, 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 video, swipe. Those that can't afford headphones play the music really loudly, really annoys me. Swipe, swipes. I wonder, and I was thinking, that train is long. There are hundreds of people on that train. I wonder how many hours are absolutely wasted by people. Anybody know who this is? Wally. Is that where we are heading? But the more we get technology to do, the less we have to do ourselves. What does the digital version of you look like? What do I mean by this? I mean, it knows who you are, where you live, what you do, what your likes are, what your dislikes are, where you like to shop, where you like to go on holiday. It knows everything about you. I wonder if you met your digital self, whether you'd like the person that you were meeting. Strange. Your name goes from computers every single day. Very hard to be off-grid nowadays. Little exercise for you all. You may get your mobile phones out. Have a look at how much time you spent on your phone last week. Most phones are now getting clever enough to even tell you which application you spent the most time on. So my question is anybody surprised with what they're reading right now? Or are you fully aware of how much time you spent on there? Which apps have grabbed your attention? Or which games have grabbed your attention? There's certain games out there now on mobiles that unless you interact with it on a regular basis, you'll fail in the game. So you feel obliged to go back onto the mobile phone. You could be really busy, but if I don't do that, something's going to happen to this or something's going to happen to that. There's a fear of all that catastrophic thing, and you spent the last 4 years working through the process of getting to the end of the game. Anybody surprise themselves? Where was mine? Facebook, 3 hours and 26 minutes. WhatsApp, 2 hours and 49. YouTube, 1 hour 55. Screen time while walking, 2 hours 22. So I thought to myself, I wonder what the God app would look like. I wonder how many of those things would rate highly on the amount of time we've spent in our week. Words of wisdom, words of knowledge, faith, working miracles, prophecy, gifts of healing, speaking in tongues, discerning of spirits. I know when I went to the park last week and spoke to 3 young guys, or 2 young guys and a dad, the smell of alcohol was so strong it was coming out of the guy's pores. And yet God gave me compassion. And I've walked through that part many a time, but I was on point. I was focused last Saturday. Who do you want me to speak to, God? Who can I have a word for? And Steve was sitting there chatting to these guys and he just called me over and says, Mark, give your testimony. And I give them the very, very abridged version of it. But we engaged in conversation and they started opening up. Why? Because they've got a longing and a desire to say there's more than this. There's more than in this bottle. They drank a litre of whiskey that morning. And we're sending out for more supplies, trying to feed a need, trying to numb the pain. Do we eagerly desire it? Do we eagerly desire these gifts? You see, I want to be operating in these gifts. We saw a little snippet of it last week, but I think there's so much more for us in this next season. I want that to be the thing that I'm pursuing. That the thing I'm looking for. Not to glorify me, but to glorify him. I want there to be such a tirade of healings that people are bursting in the back doors to get in here because they know something happens when they come. That's the bit that God started to do in me. And we don't need an app. He's already downloaded all of this stuff. But we don't bring it to mind. Why? Because we're distracted by so much other stuff. Who has been on ChatGPT? Who has spent far too many hours on ChatGPT? Who creates absolute nonsense they're never going to look at again, but they just want to see if it works or not on ChatGPT? Who's used it to do their homework? Who's using it to create a CV? Who's used it for work purposes to make their bids look better? All sorts of things. And my thing is this becoming our first thought rather than him? Has this replaced him? When I was away at the Leaders' Weekend and we had some time to go and wait upon God, and God talked to me about a toolkit, and a very particular toolkit, which was my granddad's toolkit. And anybody that knows my dad would know that he is not the most practical individual. Therefore, if something broke, i.e. a bike or a trike or something broke, he used to put it to one side, so when we go to granddad's, he'll be able to fix it. And so it was with great anticipation when we went there, we grabbed out the boot, took it into granddad's shed. And granddad's shed, I can still smell it now, and if I could make an aftershave smell like that, I would do. It smelled old and damp and oily. I like that smell. And we took stuff in there that was broken. And it always had a screw or a washer or a something. And it was immaculate, his shed. He had like jars with all different sorts of screws and nuts and bolts and bits and pieces. And we never left there with the stuff that we took broken. He always worked out a way of fixing it. I look at my own disorganized toolkit. I've got about 4 toolboxes. I ain't got a clue what's in each of them. There's no order to it. It's just a bunch of tools. And the thing that God spoke to me about that then, he was like, I've given you a full toolkit. The stuff that was on the apps a couple of minutes ago, there's gifts of the Spirit. He's put his Spirit inside us. Those tools are available to be used. If you're going to cut a piece of wood, you're not going to achieve it with a hammer. When, in my previous house, I built an office at the end of the garden to work in, Tia's dad was a real good with that sort of stuff. He said, oh, come down, we'll buy the wood, we'll do the stuff. I was waiting for his power tools to be brought out. Not a single power tool. Every piece of wood we cut by hand. I was like, this is crazy. This takes too much time. But he goes, with power tools, he said, there's not much care. This, you're feeling the wood. You're going to remember how much your arm aches. And surely we'd get it done. A couple of weekends, the actual shed was up and it was all built by hand. I wonder how many of the tools have just gathered dust. So my challenge to the old guard, those that have been around us for a long time, that have been fully utilising some of these tools in the past, when was the last time you blew off the dust? Or are you now looking for the next generation to sort of, oh, let him get on with it now, I've done my bit. For the younger generation in the room, how many stories have you gone and pulled out from the people that have been here for a long time and seen it? When was the last time you invited yourself round for dinner and had a chat? Tell me some stories. If you think about how Jack brought his teaching last week, what did he do? He told stories. Some of those stories he told the year before as well. Did it change the impact of the story? We're conditioned to want something new and something new and something new the whole time. We're conditioned to want upgrades the whole time. Make sure we've got the latest thing, the latest thing, the latest thing. What's your toolkit look like? I'm going to ask the Holy Spirit to come and help us now. So I've talked about technology. I've talked about mobile phones particularly. But what other idols can you think about? Because it may not be the mobile phone for you. But what other thing gets in the way? Muddies the water, prevents you from pursuing what he's given you to do. We have a loving God that has breathed into us.
Thank you for listening to this podcast by LifeLine Church. We hope this message has been an encouragement to you. We are a relational church who live to demonstrate God's love to one another and our surrounding community in real and practical ways. We believe that this love can restore our families, our friendships, our communities, and our nation. We'd love to connect further with you, so please visit our website, lifelinechurch.co.uk, or interact with us on Facebook at lifeline.church.uk.